Hey, everybody, Guy here from Chit Chat. Thanks for continuing to listen to the podcast. As this continues to grow and this little community here of people that care about Central Minnesota grows, we just are more and more thankful every day. So thanks for being a part of it as we just try to catalog and capture the different stories of the people that are trying to make our community better. I just had a really fun conversation with Angela Ringsmuth. She and her team are getting ready to launch Project 37, a coffee shop and a sober all ages music club here in St. Cloud, just like when Angela and I were kids, hanging out at the Java Joint. And we haven't had that in downtown for a really long time. And the fact that that's coming back is very, very exciting. So if you like St. Cloud at all, if you like coffee at all, if you like local music at all, or just feel good stories, I think you should listen to this podcast that's about to take place right now. All right. Angela, thanks for coming to join us on the podcast.
Thank you, Guy. Nice to be here.
All right. So we both care about downtown. We've both lived in Central Minnesota for a very long time.
I remember you from when we were kids, so yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And we have things that we're interested in doing downtown.
Absolutely.
One of those things that I hope we get to talk about today is Project 37.
Yes.
And I'm sure there are a bunch of other things, but maybe before we jump in, maybe just like, who are you? Tell us who you are and what you're up to.
Sure. I am a longtime St. Cloud resident who I like to say I love to travel so that it just doesn't feel like I'm just like only been in St. Cloud my whole life. I've lived in South America, I've lived in California, but I am in St. Cloud and I have a passion for the culture and the community here. Just because I love long-term relationships, and I've had a lot of them over the years with many community members. But I am a music teacher. I teach at the Worth Center for the Performing Arts. I have like 40 plus students there. I teach every week. I'm a local musician.
What instrument do you teach?
Excuse me. I pretty much teach piano.
Okay.
Yeah. I've tried some other things, but...
What else have you tried?
Guitar, ukulele. I mean, I've had people ask for accordion lessons, which I could do probably pretty well, but I would teach my own version of that. I feel like the only instrument I've been like professionally trained to teach in is piano, so that's like kind of what I stick to.
Yeah.
If a friend wants to learn something, I'll show them some chords, but it doesn't feel like professional to me. So, yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
All right. Very sweet. Were you homeschooled?
I was.
Okay. I was like, I think this is where my first memories of you are in relationship to like homeschool things.
You mean in relationship to David Rydberg, who was like our mutual connection? Yeah, sure. The boys choir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sweet.
Yep.
What year did you graduate high school?
2002.
Okay. I'm an 04 grad, so close.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, very sweet. All right. Tell me a little bit about Project 37. So in chamber, I've heard a fair bit, and of course around town.
Sure.
Lots of people are talking about it, but maybe just share. Tell us, what is it going to be? What is it not going to be? What are you excited about? And just, let me know.
Can I just give you a little history just so
Please.
you can understand like kind of where it came from? Sure. So we are actually a nonprofit called the Independent Music Collaborative, which started back in 2016. We were sad that the Electric Fetus closed, and by we, I mean like the community. I actually didn't join until 2017, but as soon as I heard that they were like trying to get an all-ages music venue going in 2017, I'm like, I must be on this board. So I joined the board, kind of like hung around, not sure what I was doing there for a long time. About 2 years later, though, somehow I was chair of the board, and then we hit COVID, and so like a bunch of just different stuff kind of like hit us, and we were just trying to get through and keep the hope alive. But we looked at a lot of buildings over the years, like thinking maybe we could just like jump into a building and like build a venue. And then like Zach Dorholt keeps saying, if we build it, they will come. And we're like, okay. But about 3 years ago, a young upstart, Anna Bovitz, was like, hey guys, we need a plan. We need to start doing stuff, like talking about getting a building and then just looking for buildings. It's not working. What if we put on 2 shows a month all over town and get a following and actually like build momentum toward getting a venue so that when we have an opportunity, we're like, hey guys, we've been doing this, you know us. And then we just did exactly that. So we've put on like 58 shows now in the past 3 years, all around town, skate plazas and coffee shops and theaters and all sorts of places. We built a following. We have great social media presence. And then a building showed up. And it was like kind of perfectly engineered for us because I've always thought we needed our venue to have a coffee shop because I remember back in the day going to like the Java Joint specifically. Cheap Thrills was also on the board for me, but I know some people went to the Java Z. And yeah, it was just like such a great meeting of the minds place. Like there was business people hanging out at the Java Joint. There was Francis, a guy who had You know, he wasn't even speaking because he had schizophrenia, but he had his own table there with like a sign, like a picture of himself over the table.
And a calculator.
And a calculator where he was doing math to solve the universal problems that we all don't understand, you know? So who knows what he was doing on the quantum level, but we had just everybody at that coffee shop. And I'm like, we need that coffee shop again because it just, I don't know if it can even exist in a corporate world. I don't know if you can make enough money off a coffee shop as a coffee shop necessarily to support that, like in the way that I was imagining. I don't want Starbucks. I don't want people just zipping through, grabbing drinks and leaving. I want people coming and staying for music and events and developing community around a space. And so when the idea, like finally, when the building showed up in that Haley kept, Oblivion didn't work out for various reasons. She was like, I really want you guys to have this space. So we're like, okay, what do we need to do? And we're like, we need to fundraise. We need a starting budget if we're going to do this. So we fundraised $80,000 in 3 months. Community funds, lots of small donors, like over 300 people donated. Some people donated $5. Some people donated $10,000. And so we got like a really nice variety of different levels of support. And then we bought the building.
Yeah.
We didn't even expect to do that. Like right out the gate, we thought contract for deed or something. So we got a building.
And did you guys do contract for deed, or did you guys go through traditional?
We bought the building. We had an amazing loan from the Initiative Foundation. They supported us. They had some money that was like earmarked for downtown St. Cloud. So it just, the timing was like literally out of this world. Like there was no way we could do this without divine timing. It was just like things lined up for us. People showed up for us. People keep showing up for us, being like, hey, I really want to do this thing that we needed. And we're like, cool, that's exactly what we need right now. So it's just been like super amazing, the community support and the like sort of magic that's come together. We just finished a stage fundraiser. I guess we're still technically in it, but we just put on a Battle of the Bands like a week and a half ago. We had like a bunch of kid bands playing at the Paramount. It was so fun. So much great energy there. Like we're just trying to basically get space for, I haven't said what we're doing yet. We're trying to get an all ages and sober music venue in St. Cloud so that people of all ages can show up, play shows, come to shows. You never have to worry about there being alcohol there. It's just going to be like a sober venue. So good for the sober community too, who doesn't want to go out to the bar and be exposed to all that and have to worry about warding off temptation or whatever. It's just going to be a safe space for people. So
that's really, really fun.
Yep.
And when do you think it opens?
We are going to reveal that like next week. So if you follow us on socials, you'll get the news when it comes out. But summer.
Great. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how much construction and renovation have you guys needed to do in your building?
Just a stage to the downstairs. That's all.
The stage is downstairs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. In the back corner, like kind of like if you've been in Oblivion, there's like the coffee bar or there's the bar and then like to the right and to the back of that. Yep.
Oh, you mean on the main level?
The main level. Not in the basement.
You said downstairs. And I'm
well,
like,
there's an upstairs.
Yeah.
But okay, so I don't even think of the basement as part of the building. The occupiable space. So we might do something with that eventually, but
so when you go back to listen to this, when you hear my response of wow, the downstairs, it was not because of thinking of the main level. I was thinking of that basement.
Oh sure, yeah.
And having the venue down there.
No.
On the main level. Yeah, of course. Great.
I mean, downstairs maybe for like a punk show or like a dance party eventually, but yeah, no. We're going to stay on the main floor.
Great. And then how about that kitchen? Will you guys do anything with that kitchen or will it pretty much stay the same?
If we can, like, we're going to keep applying for grants. We've gotten lots of great grants for programming, but we need to get some more money, and it's probably not just going to be from fundraising. So depending on how things go, yes, at some point we want a functional kitchen. We want even a bakery. Like Anna Bovitz is an amazing baker and has worked at Backwards Bread for many years. We just have like lots of people who could help out in that department too. So yeah, we'd love to do like our own like food source eventually, but for it to start, we'll have Backwards Bread pastries and stuff in there. So not do everything right away. Yeah, we're gonna build.
Yeah, that's great.
We have plans. Yeah,
that's cool. And will you launch right away will a coffee shop be open first, or okay? And will it be called Project 37 Coffee?
No.
Will it be? Can you announce what it'll be called?
Yeah, it'll be called B-Side Indie Music Cafe.
Fun. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
What a great name for a coffee shop inside of a music venue.
Right.
Really, really fun.
Yeah.
And do you have like a lineup of shows that you're already thinking about?
Yeah, so basically the programming we've already been doing and have a lot of momentum on. We're just going to be adding to that. So yeah, we already have like, I think the first weekend we're planning to open, we already have like 2 or 3 shows that are happening like that weekend, like in the space. So, I mean, eventually we'd like to have like 2 shows a weekend every weekend. But for now it might be like 1 show a weekend.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to kind of like as booking is allowed, you know, and as we can do it. Because right now we do shows kind of in a big way. We usually have like people there photographing. We have like a sound people. We have people running doors and people. I mean, right now we've had people lugging equipment to new spaces, so that won't necessarily be a role anymore.
Which is great.
Which is great because that was a lot of lugging. I've been on that team before. And then, yeah, like security, that type of thing. Like, so we put on like a show, you know, and like on a pretty slim budget or like a grant subsidized budget. So we'll have to see how it all comes together with all that.
And then what's the business model for it? Do bands, is there a gate and you guys are splitting gate? Are bands renting the space and like, they get to kind of throw their own thing and then they get the tickets? Like, how does that work?
I wonder if we'll start doing more of that just to fill up more nights with music, because I think that would be a good model, like potentially. But right now we've been getting grant funding and we've been paying bands out of that. We've been paying staff out of that.
Yeah.
So we've been able to do a lot and pay people pretty well with grant funding from the Minnesota State Arts Board and the Central Minnesota Arts Board.
Yep.
So
cool.
As we increase that, we might have to change the model a little bit to make it more functional.
Both? Do you think you have to do one or the other?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah. And I mean, all this is sort of speculative at this point because we're going to start out with doing things how we're doing them. And then as people want to do more stuff, we'll be like, hey, maybe we could fit that in this way. So it's just going to be a bit of play it by ear. But we have a board for the whole organization and then lots of committees right now that are pretty functional and active and spry. Yeah. So it's nice.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And then what about the upstairs? And when I say upstairs, I don't mean the main level. I do mean the actual upstairs.
Yep. Basement, first and second level. Second level right now is office space. And there's sort of like a larger like open space in the middle. We really want to do like some like community ed style, like musicianship type classes, like how to brand yourself, how to just like music, like support for musicians, basically type education, not like taking private lessons. We'll leave that to Worth Center, but like just very specific to sort of the niche that we're creating here. Just like keep people developing in that role.
Yeah.
So we'll probably use that bigger space for that. And then office space, we were hoping to like rent out to if a nonprofit organization needs a little office or, a therapist or someone like community oriented.
Yeah.
We're looking for that type of people. Right now it's a little bit, it needs new floors and it needs new lighting, and we might be able to afford one of those things right away. And that makes it a little trickier to get professionals up there, but we'll see. One part of it's already kind of renovated to be a law office. So that part might be easier to rent out sooner. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And obviously if you've never been in that building before, it is unique. The upstairs is unique in that it has a shared easement with the building next door.
It does.
And so, having, knowing who that's going to be, or at least having, it'd be really good to have a good relationship with that, with that tenant or that other person, because you're going to be, sharing a bathroom and hallway and some of that stuff. But the layout of the building is very unique, very, very unique.
Yep.
Yeah. And, I know that we chatted. I forget if we were rolling when we were chatting, but
we were rolling, but I think we weren't technically started yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you know? What can you say about who that will be?
Well, we really want, and it looks like we have a pathway to getting that space and using it as basically a community arts center. That will be
the Daniels
building. Yeah, the building that's immediately adjacent. There are like second floor doors that like we share like a hallway basically into that same space, and our elevator that we have access to is also in that space. The Worth Center would occupy a large part of that, and is sort of helping to figure out how to make that happen right now.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It would be really cool. I mean, really incredible partnership.
It would be so amazing because, you've got families coming there all the time. What parents are just sitting around in the hallways, what they could go sit at the coffee shop and get some work done. Or, like it would just make everything so much, I don't know, like people just having the same like-minded individuals there when it comes to like music and art, and just like having more of that in St. Cloud and having a place for that to coalesce, especially downtown, I think would be fantastic. Not that we don't have other great arts places, but I feel like you almost can't do too much. It's like the more there is, the more buzz you get, and the more people get used to doing stuff.
Yeah.
And
I should have asked, what is your role? What's your title? What do you do? Grand Poobah, Czar? What title do you like?
Yeah, I like these names. Let's keep brainstorming. Right now I'm the board chair of the Independent Music Collaborative. So that's my title. And I don't know that I need another one, but I also am going to be general manager of the coffee shop aspect. Like I've ran Rock Creek in the past. And so
For reals?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Many years ago now.
Do you know that we just bought Rock Creek?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
so I have a lot of questions about that actually, but I don't know if that's going to be
Sure.
for now conversation. Yeah. Yep.
Really? I had no idea.
Yep. So I spent about a year and a half there. And yeah, we had a great team. It was really fun.
It's cool.
Met a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Also, I just love that, interface with the public in a
Yeah.
coffee shop. I think you just have so much opportunity for building relationships and connections. So I'm excited to be there.
I fell in love with coffee right at my senior year of college. I got a job at a small little local coffee shop and just fell in love, not just with coffee, but I really did come to actually like the product itself at that time. But my favorite thing is I knew our customers well. Like I knew their names, I knew I knew their families, I knew where they worked and what they did and what they were working on. I knew their cars. My favorite thing is from where where I stood as a barista, out in front, I had a great view of the road, and the cars would drive by, and I knew who was whose, and I knew where they parked, and then I knew that in about 5 minutes they were going to walk through because it was every day, and they would get the exact same drink, and then they'd walk upstairs to their office. Wow. And my goal was I wanted to greet people by name while I set their coffee.
Like already have it ready
on the table, like they come walking in, and then at the time, the computer system was, there wasn't like these cool online POS systems or whatever. It was just a little box with note cards, and you would pull out the note card and you'd put a little like a little hash mark, a little tick next to vanilla latte for Susan.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the month, you just tallied it up and sent them a bill, and they trusted and we
Shut
trusted.
up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a fascinating time. But I got to know people, I got to know their rhythms and kind of meet them in that spot.
Yeah.
And there's something that is so special about the communityness of that thing, and it's why we have continued to try to do that, and why we're excited to do that in Sauk Rapids now. And but yeah, it's super, super fun.
Communityness. I like that word.
Yeah.
That was fun.
An adjective.
Yeah. Let's make that a word. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Just also sometimes people use that as sort of a transitional space. I know
for sure.
We saw a lot of Al Neff when I was working there. Something happened with where he was I don't remember what it was, but that was sort of became his office for a while. Or I know one of my friends was in grad school, so she was just always there studying. And it's just those types of things, to serve as a third space for those people, or a temporary office or whatever. It's
well, it's so funny. You said cool. Third space, but the thing that you're kind of explaining is actually kind of second space.
It is second space. You're right. I know. I kind of pivoted there.
In those transitional moments, it can be.
It can become a second space. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Story is the driving force for us here at Switchboard. Story is also the reason that Chit Chat exists. We tell stories of the people around us through photos, videos, branding, and websites. Story helps us find meaning, and it draws a community together, and we would love to help tell your story. You can find us at www.switchboard.mn. We would love to meet you. We'd love to talk with you and learn more about the story that you are trying to tell and how our story-driven marketing tools can help you communicate better. Can't wait to talk to you soon. All right. And will you be on the stage at all? Will you be performing at all at Project 37? In the venue?
I mean, we're gonna have an open mic every week. Every Wednesday we'll have open mic. So I would love to play at open mics. My band has played 3 Project 37 shows over the years. So
what is your band called?
Wild Residents.
can we find Wild Residence on all of the things?
Yes. We are not the Wild Residence. We live in a Wild Residence. So that's how you spell it. ENCE at the end.
Okay.
In case you're wondering. Yeah. I love playing music with people. I feel like I've been in a band for most of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is your dad or your uncle Frank?
My dad.
Your dad. Did you help write his jingle?
Oh God. No.
No.
I don't know who wrote that. It is like it feels like ancient at this point to me because I grew up hearing that jingle, and now the fact that he gets people to sing it at chamber kind of makes me like cringe a little.
Here's the deal. I love it. Okay. I love it so much. Like I love it so much. I like singing, right? Like I legitimately like singing, and there is a genuineness to him when he does it, and to everybody. I think everybody legitimately loves it, and so whenever Frank is there, I sure love. I love that we get to sing a little bit.
My dad is one of the most genuine people out there, and I mean, I hope I've gotten a little bit of that gene from him, and it feels. There's something cringy about having someone as genuine as you are, like doing something, and you're just like, oh man, like it's like I don't know, it's like embarrassing to me, but I love it too. I do love it. So, yeah. Dad, I love you. Okay. 100%.
Her dad Frank runs the camera shop downtown.
Yeah.
So
I know that's the other cool thing. We're gonna be on 7th Avenue together.
The same, isn't that?
I know.
That's kind of crazy.
I know. And then also the Children's Museum's opening up on 7th Avenue. So 7th Avenue corridor is going to come like alive this year. Yeah. I'm excited because I feel like that's kind of been a dead zone. Like art crawls happen and it's kind of like nobody goes off the main drag, So
it feels like the Paramount is such a magnet for the art crawl. It's like it feels like that's kind of the heart and everything kind of comes off of it. And 7th is a ways down from the Paramount.
Like 2 blocks.
3 long blocks.
3 long blocks? Is it really 3 whole long
I think
blocks?
so.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 7th to 9th, isn't it?
So all of...
Isn't 9th Avenue the one that runs through, or is it 10th downtown?
So, yeah.
Streets in our city make no sense. St. Germain also is like in 3 different places. So
and there is a unique thing when you are a child of this place. And you don't have to like learn it just because you've always known it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one street over there, and now it's this street, and then over in Wade Park almost area, there's like another one. Yeah.
Well, okay. Sweet. Okay. What are you the most excited about with Project 37?
Yeah. I think I get excited about a new thing every day, and I think that's what's exciting. I'm like mostly excited because I feel like this has been a culmination of so many things in my life. Working with teenagers, I worked at like the St. Cloud Children's Home for 10 years. I've obviously been a piano teacher for innumerable years. We're not going to mention how many. And yeah.
Was there anybody here who you taught piano to when he was a really small boy?
Yes.
Caleb.
Yes. Caleb.
Behind the camera, Caleb.
I show up.
Caleb, this is your piano teacher. Yeah. Did you practice, Caleb? Did you practice? Okay.
No, Caleb was really good. He has a great ear. He could probably still pick stuff up and play it right now, I'm guessing. Do you still play?
I wish. I'm planning on picking it back up.
He could pick it up. He could pick it up tomorrow.
Right.
He's just got, some kids can just like pick it up. The ear kids, I know we don't always read music very well, but we can just like make stuff up and people are like, whoa. Yeah, that's fun.
A little divergence. My cousin Grant is very talented musically, very, really talented, and wanted to play piano and is an ear kid, not a notes kid. Not interested, at least at the time as a little kid, like Bach, Beethoven, any of like the classical things and, your little like piddly kid versions of those, just not for him. And he was in some piano lessons that were just like
only
old ladies,
feeding him that stuff.
Old ladies that had used the exact same books for 30 years.
Yep.
And it just wasn't going well. And so I recommended and then made a call to Greg Jorgensen. Do you know Greg at all? Greg was the piano man. He taught music and maybe still does at university.
Okay.
But he's a jazz piano player. And I just knew, I was like, what Grant has is so special. And if these teachers are unwilling to like kind of meet him where he's at and then like resource this like really talented young kid, like this will be a squandered gift. But the right teacher who's like, we don't need to open a single book. Let's just sit at the keyboard together.
Right.
And like, I'm going to play something and I want you to like play on that a little bit and think about it. And Grant just like thrived at the piano as long as you just like got rid of all the dumb, and again, I was a music major in college, so I like all the notes and stuff, but for these kids, people who have this unique thing, and I always kind of envied it, truthfully, like as a notes kid, like sight singing and ear training, that thing, the kids who just naturally had some of that, I was always really envious of that. And so when I saw that in Grant, I was like, oh, like don't force him into this like playing the same thing that every kid has ever played. And Grant is wonderfully talented. He's remarkably talented, is a really, really in a really cool band. And anyway, it kind of worked for him. But again, you got to find the thing that kind of is right for you, like Caleb.
We need all the different types of musicians, but I do think we have like a new generation of piano teachers who can probably be more flexible like that. I know I had a couple friends who also taught like that. They'd be like, "Oh, you like this pop song? Let's write the chord structure out, and you can just play the chords, and like we'll figure out how to play the melody by ear. You can sing along, like just being more flexible is really helpful."
I think if you keep a kid at the piano, this has to be the chief win. Right? Like if you force like the first book and a half of your thing on them and they completely burn out, like, did you win, piano teacher? Like, did you do your thing? No. I mean, keeping a kid engaged at a piano, loving that thing has to be what is the most important. And then finding the thing that works.
I think I'm more in danger of keeping kids at the piano who don't really practice, don't care that much, but we still have so much fun during our lessons that they'll just keep showing up.
Yeah.
So, it is still fun, but my favorite kids are the kids who really love it and they do practice on their own because they love it. And then I just get to feed them more ideas every lesson. So that's
cool.
That's the most fun for me.
Yeah.
But we have fun no matter what. So
did you go to college? Were you a music major? What was your, like, academically, what was your relationship to music?
Sure. I had a very intensive high school education. Like I was doing music history stuff and music theory, and I studied with Dr. Worth. So then I went to college with a bit of music injury because I had started practicing like 6 hours a day, like after during high school, and things got a little nuts, and I got like carpal tunnel and tennis elbow and like a bunch of other problems. So after 1 year of doing music in college, I was like, I can't like physically sustain piano performance as a major. So I wound up doing my other love, which is psychology. So mental health and human services, and then wound up like working in the psych field for a while. But I also really loved Spanish. So those were kind of my three loves. And then as soon as college was over, I moved to Ecuador for a year. So I got a nice full immersion dose of that as well. So I think I've kind of gotten to do everything I love. It's just not always been the most straightforward of a path.
That's cool.
But I started teaching when I was like 16 in high school. And and it's just, I think that the amount of time that I have under my belt and the amount of training that I did have, even younger maybe than most people, was really helpful for all that. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
How's your Spanish? Is it still pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. How often do you get to use your Spanish?
Oh, if I go to a restaurant and I hear the people in the back speaking Spanish, I'll just say something in Spanish to them, and that's fun. Or like I have like an aunt who's from Puerto Rico, and and anytime I get the opportunity, I'll say at least a few words. But I've been back to South America 5 times maybe. Yeah. So I go whenever I can.
Where in South America?
I lived in Quito, Ecuador for a year, and I've been back there once, and then I've been to Chile twice, Peru. Maybe that's about it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I haven't spent a lot of time in South America, but I spent 1 week in Chile. In maybe a little over a week. We were in Santiago for a bit, and then we drove to Conception down the coast, and really in the middle of in the summer.
Yeah.
Which was winter there. And so that was a fascinating.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
exactly. To be south of the equator and like have the upside down experience.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chile is a beautiful, like really remarkable country.
Yeah. I went with a couple girlfriends and we spent 6 weeks there the first time, and we did like top to bottom.
Wow.
Yeah. Hiked Patagonia, like a big part of that. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
It was so fun.
What year did you do that?
Oh, it was like 8.5 years ago now. So if I can do math, like 2018 maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really
Very
sweet.
fun.
Well, incredible. Is there anything else that we need to know about Project 37? And I'm so sorry, will you say the name of the parent organization one more time?
The Independent Music Collaborative of Central Minnesota is our full name.
And is there anything that you think that we should still know about both of those organizations, about what's coming?
Yeah. We also put on Common Roots Fest every summer.
Really?
So that's all original music happening all over downtown. So we love that. Yeah. And I think our I want to say motto. That's not it. What is it called? Mission. It's like growing local music. So we just want to nurture that musician from wherever they're at, to getting them to a point where they're like confidently playing their own music, writing music. Like we want to create like a space that is like so like nurturative for musicians that we just have like the best St. Cloud environment. I would love St. Cloud to be like an arts community that's like envied by the cities and have people coming up here to go to shows and do cool things. I think of like Santa Fe, and then like an hour north, there's like Taos, and it's like this little artist community. I would love St. Cloud to be the artist community. I think we could do it. So yeah, anyway,
Well,
that's
very
not
cool.
Specifically Project 37, but I just think that the potential is almost unlimited. I think we have a lot of room to grow, and like with the upcoming generations as excited as they are, that we can just keep flying.
Yeah.
So
Very, very cool. And
Yeah.
where can people find you guys and find more information?
yep, our best website right now is project37mn.com, or you can just like Google Project 37 and yeah, we'll be on Facebook, we'll be on Instagram. We have lots of updates that we pump out there. So if you follow us on those platforms, you'll get lots of cool stuff. You can send us your email if you want. I don't know.
Sweet.
Good stuff like that.
Also, one last thing.
Yeah.
Tell us about the name. How did Project 37? What does that name mean?
Sure. Just across the street from where we ended up getting our building, we were looking at building 36 7th Avenue for a while. And so it was called Project 36 because we were like I was like sledgehammering walls down in that space thinking we were going to be building a venue. It was very tiny. There was no bathroom on the main floor. It was terrible. But we were like so hopeful and so eager. We were like, we can get this tiny space and make it work. And then it ended up falling through for other reasons, and we're all grateful it did because it kind of led to everything else. But so the next version was Project 37, just almost as
Just
a
the
joke,
the
like
next one.
it was just like, oh, Project 36 didn't work out. Now it's Project 37, and it's funny how things work like
Yeah.
that because it doesn't really relate to anything anymore. But
That's
I
kinda
was
fun.
37 when we named it that, so I was like, oh, it's mine, it's fine, yeah.
It's great. And how many people serve on that board?
There are 12 of us. One of them's not voting because they're the executive director now on the IMCCM board. But then we have like over 30 people in committees for Project 37 specifically. So it's pretty crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really, really neat. Well, love it. Angela, thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
We
Guy.
close every episode with a little shout out or a plug.
Yeah.
Is there somebody, something, or some idea that you think deserves a little shout out today?
I mean, I feel like I owe everything that we're doing to Anna Bovitz, honestly. She's been like the number one person that has just made this happen. Like feet on the ground, like, yeah. So I feel like I owe her my heart. So thanks, Anna.
Okay. If yours is going to be Anna Bovitz, and mine will be Lori Bovitz, who I work alongside of at church in the communications department.
Oh, wow.
And so let's just make this a Bovitz plug.
Okay.
Lori, you're great. Thanks for everything you do at Calvary. Really appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, Anna.
It's so fun. Okay.
Cool.
Angela, thanks for coming. Really,
Yeah.
really sweet. I'm excited to see what you guys do.
Yeah.
We're less than a block away.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll walk over for shows and for coffee.
Yeah.
It's fun to, we were here. We were in this building for a few months while Oblivion was still open. And,
Sure.
it's nice to be able to have a place that you could walk over and actually get a cup of coffee. So
Yeah.
excited that you guys are opening up, and
Cool.
best of luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.